Hello, St. Ambrose. My name is Michael Kujan. Our adult faith formation team has been looking at Catholic morality. And this past Sunday, we looked at virtues and vices. These are moral habits that train us for excellence, for the good, and for happiness. Sometimes we can be controlled by others, but that's not what we're talking about here. When we have a habit, it's not forced on us by someone else. It is something that we develop or that God gives to us. Our virtues are good habits that order us to what is good, and vices are bad habits that turn us away from the good towards something evil. In our lives, it's our responsibility to build up these habits so that we can become the people God made us to be. There is sin in our life that does build up into certain vices, but fortunately we have the sacrament of reconciliation, whereby Jesus Christ gives us the forgiveness of sins and healing so that our vices can be transformed into virtues that Jesus himself exemplified in his own life. Now, in our tradition, there are many types of virtues that we strive to follow and many vices that we want to avoid. Among the vices we want to avoid are the 7 deadly sins, those which we find throughout the book of Proverbs: pride, envy, anger, greed, sloth, gluttony, and lust. All of these are at the root of our evil behaviors when we encounter them. But in contrast, we are called to follow virtue, a way of life that is both naturally developed by us, but also, most importantly, something that God gives to us through his grace. So you have various virtues that perfect us as human beings, and note that we are mind and body, soul and spirit. So there's a lot in us that needs perfection. We have a mind and a free will, and so we have a call to use certain virtues like intellectual virtues and moral virtues. The intellectual virtues of the mind help us to do what's good based on what we understand to be true or good. So we can develop understanding and wisdom and scientific knowledge about things. And we can develop practical skills as well, like art, and most especially important for moral virtue, prudence, which helps us discern right from wrong and be able to do what is right on a consistent basis. Other moral virtues would include the other cardinal virtues. The 4 cardinal virtues are prudence, temperance, fortitude, and justice. And these get at how we can behave as moral human beings towards others and to govern ourselves based on what's right. With prudence, we tell ourselves what is good and what is bad. With justice, we try to do good by others and to give them what is owed to them. Through temperance, we try to keep control of our emotions and guide ourselves in what is most good and away from evil. And with fortitude, we have the courage to overcome evil in our lives, to seek what is truly best. With our virtues, we seek to follow Christ, who himself gives us the grace to be virtuous. And so the greatest of all virtues are those that are Christ-given alone. And these are the theological virtues of faith, hope, and love. Faith is our belief in God and all that God has revealed to us. Hope is our trust that God will fulfill his promises and grant us eternal life as a free gift of God for those who are faithful. And love, or charity, is the divine gift by which we share in God's love, and we share it with our neighbors as well. All of the virtues in our lives bring us to what is good, to what makes us happy. And it gives us true freedom to have a consistent life ethic that's grounded in virtue. We can't always know exactly what's the right thing to do in every situation, but with God's help, we can be led there. So in our next upcoming session this Sunday, we're going to look at moral decision making. How do I know what truly is right and wrong? Even if I am a person of virtue, it takes a lot to figure that out. So join us next weekend for our next session of Catholic Morality.